We've all probably seen a sign like this before, placed somewhere on a floor, a church, a business, some kind of store, that says, wet floor, caution. Something has been spilled, and as a result, the floor has been mopped, but it's still wet, it's slippery. And if anybody knows, if you are walking and unaware that there is something slick on a floor, you can easily slip yourself and fall. So it's good that we have signs that let us know such things so as we can be prepared for walking on a slick floor or trying to walk on a wet spot. Unfortunately, we don't have signs like this in life that let us know that there's a trouble spot coming for us, a place that we could slip or fall. Life is full of those experiences that can take our feet out from beneath us and cause us to fall. And sometimes, depending on what caused the fall, it can be painful. And the pain can last a long time. Perhaps the grief of death that comes with someone we lose. Perhaps a sudden unemployment or an ongoing depression, a family division, economic woes. But something occurs and we slip and we fall because life isn't just that predictable. Well, there's a story in the gospel when the disciples of Jesus were on a boat in the Sea of Galilee. They were without Jesus. He had told them that he would catch up with them later. And so they put their boat in the water and headed out to sea. And things were going pretty good for a while, but then we are told a sudden storm arose. And as a result, the wind began to blow, the sky turned dark, the rain began to fall, and the water became very rocky. The waves were crashing into the water, and the disciples were fearful. Even though some of them were experienced fishermen and used to being on the boat, this was a terrifying time. Lo and behold, they happened to look out, though, upon that rocky and turbulent water, and behold, they see a figure walking on the water. Not swimming through the water, not on another boat, but taking their feet and stepping out and walking across the surface of the water. Well, the disciples at first think it is a ghost, and that's probably a good conclusion if you were in their same position. But then it is Jesus, because he calls out to them and says, "It's me, don't be afraid." The one that they had been following and listening to and watching perform miracles is now performing another miracle. He's walking on water. Well, one of the disciples, Peter, who was often a spokesperson for the 12 disciples, calls out to Jesus, "Lord, if that is you, let me step out onto the water and walk with you." Takes some courage, I think, to make such a statement, walking on water. And so Jesus says, "Come," and Peter looks over the edge of the boat and he sees the water and he steps out onto it. Everything would tell you that when you step out onto water, you're going to sink. But Peter is able to stand on the water. And he begins to walk across the water to Jesus. But then the scriptures teach us, all of a sudden, he began to notice the storm again. That the water wasn't smooth, that the wind was blowing, the sky was dark, and the rain was coming down, and he became afraid. And because of that fear, we're told that he began to slip. He began to sink into the water. He was now a drowning man. And so he cries out, "Lord, save me. I'm sinking." And Jesus arrives where he's at and takes him by the hand in the water and pulls him back upon the surface. and they both get back into the boat. Sometimes life causes us to slip, to fall, to sink. Even the best of us in our faith as Christians find ourselves at times sinking or slipping on a wet spot. We can find ourselves going under, wondering if we're going to make it, even if we're going to survive the circumstances that we find ourselves in. You see, it's so easy in life to focus on the storm and lose sight of the one who walks with us on the water. It's so easy to focus on our problems and our pain and the difficulty and forget the presence of God that is with us even in those most difficult times. And so, like Peter, at times we find ourselves crying out, I'm slipping, I'm sinking, help me, Lord. And over again, God has shown us that he is there to lift us back up and bring us to a better place. Life will have its slippery moments indeed. Life will have its moments when we feel like we're sinking in the midst of a storm. But in the midst of life, in all its uncertainties, we have the certain truth that our God will be with us. You see, Jesus can walk on water. He does fine on the slippery spots. And so we can trust in him and his love and grace to be with us wherever our next step may take us. God bless.